Today I'm going to spill the beans on a true story of one of my dating experiences, dating somebody who did not speak English and someone who I think wanted papers from me. So keep watching to hear this very weird story. There we go. Get the hair out of the way. Whew. So, where do I begin? Okay. So if you guys have been subscribed to me for a bit of time, will probably remember or maybe seen or maybe not have seen but should check out my video I posted maybe almost 2 years ago, about knowing your self-worth. It was not a beauty video, it was just a video on understanding your self-worth as a human being and as a woman. And that whole video was about this guy I dated, which is the story I'm going to tell you guys today. Let's talk it through the beginning. So how this all started was I was working at my current retail location, my current retail store I'm still working with, and I was working inside Macy's. It's called Bluemercury if you guys are curious. So I got to meet a lot of people there in the beauty department, and I became close with someone named Raphael at the Urban Decay spot. We were just having a random conversation when it was really slow one day. He came over and hang out with me, and we were having this conversation about like guys we've dated and last time we've dated somebody, and I hadn't had a boyfriend when I was having that conversation in like 3 years. And I told him, I was like, you know what, like I'm ready to find a companion. I'm ready to like really actually try and start dating again. Even though like I'm all about having a guy walk into your life, I was like, I'm really open to like exploring more options, I guess. He was like, get a Tinder, because he had one and he was actually doing really well like finding guys on there. And he says the person he's currently talking to at the moment he found on Tinder, and things are going really well, so he encouraged me to get a Tinder. So I download Tinder, and during our lunch break we went somewhere off in the mall, and we started like going through the guys and like swiping left, swiping right, trying to find a match. So we did this for like 2 weeks. I was on Tinder swiping away, and this guy came up and he was so cute. And I was like, oh, he looks tall, he's Hispanic, played soccer, and I was like, okay, this guy's so cute. So I swiped right and it popped up that we were a match, and I was like, oh, okay, this is so crazy, and like this is someone I actually would be really interested in going on a date with. So I get to work and I tell my friend Ari, who is my other coworker at Bluemercury, and I told her about him and like showed her his profile, and she's like, oh my god, Andrea, he's so cute, you need to message him. Which I was kind of like, because I like it when a guy messages me first, but oh well. She's like, I'm gonna do it for you. So she messaged him for me, said like, hey, happy face, and he replied back. So we started talking and we decided that we were gonna go on a date. We're gonna go out to dinner. So this is the day of the date. We're texting and he says, by the way, my English isn't that great. And I was like, I took Spanish for 3 years, I can work with this, no problem. And he says, hey, can you pick me up? My car's in the shop, so it would be great if you could drive. And I said, sure. So I'm on my way. I wasn't really super nervous because I'd been on a date before with Tinder, and you know, totally fine. But then when I saw him come out, I texted him and said, hey, I'm here. I saw him come out of his house and I was like, oh my god, so cute in real life. And instantly when I saw him, I had butterflies. I got super nervous all of a sudden. I was like, oh my god, like, keep your cool, Andrea, like sitting in the car. I'm like, oh my god, I'm fixing my hair and all this. And he gets in my car and he like kisses me on the cheek. I was like, oh, he's so cute. And so we get in the car, I start pulling away to go to the restaurant, to drive to the restaurant, and I like don't know how well his English is, so I'm trying to ask him really basic questions. So I said, how do you like our city that we live in? That's all I said, and he just looked at me and like didn't know what to say. And I was like, Did you not hear me? So we get to a red light. I pop out my phone real quick, quickly type in what I said in Google Translate, and I gave my phone to him, and then he replied back to me over Google Translate, and I was like, oh, okay, great. So maybe his English isn't as well as I really thought it was. We get to dinner, and the whole time I'm just trying to talk to him, and he literally doesn't know what I'm saying. And within like 10 minutes of me being there at the restaurant, I realized that he doesn't speak English at all. So we talked on Google Translate on my phone, passing back and forth my cell phone at the dinner table the entire time. But he was so sweet. Like, when we were talking over Google Translate, like, he was saying, I feel so incredibly lucky to meet such a beautiful woman inside and out like you, and he just seemed so like smitten with me at the dinner table. Even though I couldn't hear him say those words, his body language and the way he looked at me, I was like, oh, he kind of digs me. So anyways, that's pretty much how the date ended. Basically, for 2 weeks we were like hanging out a lot, and like, you know, hanging out at his house a lot, because the problem is that, you know, when you don't speak the same language, there's not a lot you can do. So we went out to the Olive Garden because he loves the Olive Garden. So we went and ate there like many times, and we would just like, you know, sit in silence or like use my phone to communicate. And then we would go back to his place, and we would watch a movie or TV shows or funny YouTube videos, and like we would cuddle together and like watch that. And like, even though we couldn't talk together, like we could watch something and we had like subtitles and we could laugh together, which was really special. So then after 3 weeks, things got kind of weird, and he wasn't as like, let's hang out anymore, which made me sad, because it kind of made me realize that like maybe this really isn't working out. And I mean, I can understand because we don't speak the same language, but I was like kind of sad because I'm like, I don't understand, like he seems so into me, and now all of a sudden after 3 weeks he like really wasn't. And then he one time texted me saying, like out of the blue, and was like, see, I don't know if I'm gonna like stay here like after this soccer season ends, like I may just go back to my country because I miss my like home. And he was like, so you can't fall in love with me and all this stuff. And I was like, okay. And I was like, well, I'm leaving in 5 weeks to go back to university anyways, so peace out. And he was like, wait, you're leaving? Like, I don't want you to leave. Like, I want to like be together. Like, I want to date you. And I'm like, you want to date me, but you don't want us to fall in love. Very weird conversation, and it kind of put me off a little bit and made me kind of think like, I feel like something's going on that I am not picking up on. It's now end of July going into August, and I leave in 2 weeks by then to go back to university. Hadn't seen each other in basically 2 weeks, like we hadn't hung out or anything, and he kept making excuses, and I was just like, you know what, he doesn't seem into me anymore, and I don't want to deal with this anymore. So a week before I left for university, I texted him and said, I can't do this anymore, we're done. If you really liked me, you would have spent more time with me, so adios, muchacho. He texted me back and he said, sorry to hear that, I hope you walk well. And I was like, you walk well? What does that even mean? I was so sad. I was crying for like 3 days, and during the days when I was really upset, that's when I made that video about knowing your self-worth. So yeah, so then I moved back to Arizona to go do my junior year at U of A, and after 2 weeks of me being there, I get a DM on my Instagram from him, and he's like, I miss you so much. And I'm like, dude, like, why? So over our DMing and fighting, we finally decided that maybe we're gonna try and make it work again. So I was already coming home for Labor Day weekend, so I said, hey, I'm coming home, we should spend some time together. I had told my mom, like, hey, I'm gonna go spend the night at his place, and we're just gonna like be together. We had a great night together, and I went back home to be with my parents and my family. So I got back to Arizona, and we were texting a little bit here and there throughout the week, and he texted me literally out of the blue and said, "I want to make a son with you." Huh? This guy wanted to make a baby with me, specifically a boy. And I was like, are you kidding me right now? I was like, dude, I'm 21. Like, I literally just turned 21. I still have a year and a half left, almost 2 years left of school. You're not even sure if you're going to stay in this continent anymore. Why would we make a child? And he basically told me, because I'm in love with you. And I'm like, no, you don't make children just because you're in love with someone. Like, we're not married, we don't have things figured out yet. Why would we have a child? And he literally told me that he wanted papers for his son. I'm not stupid. Even though I'm blonde, I am not stupid. I am gonna have a child with someone. I will carry the baby and give birth to the baby in the United States of America, where I am from. When you give birth to a child in the United States, that child automatically is an American citizen. And so I was like, you would get papers because you would be the father of an American citizen when you're not. So I was like, why do you want papers? You tell me you want to go back to your country, yet you want to have a child and get papers. Like, why? A couple days later, I get a DM. Not from this guy. From an unknown account. Long story short, this account was telling me that this guy I'm seeing is basically a fraud, and he follows girls on Instagram, wants to go out with them, boosts his ego, and makes them feel special, is doing this to multiple girls, and he's dating multiple girls. And this person literally gave me names of girls he's seen. There's 2 first names they gave me, and then this person gave me a full name, first and last name. She saw my YouTube video, which only has like 100 views, and she knew who I was seeing and knew all that stuff. I was like, okay, I'm not going to think about this. I don't even know if this is true. I'm just going to relax. So then the weekend comes where I'm getting on my plane to go back to where I'm from, my city. I text him, I'm like, hey, I'm on my way back. I have a wedding tomorrow, and then I'll be back around like 7 p.m. We can go get dinner and all this stuff. And he's like, okay, perfect, great. And so Friday, he texted me and said, hey, like, what time exactly will you be in? Like when are you available? And all this stuff, like being like really like the second you're back in San Jose and you are available, let me know, kind of thing. And I was like, okay, dude, like, I'm available tomorrow at 7 p.m. after the wedding when I drive back home. So it's Saturday around 7 p.m. when I get back from the wedding, and I'm texting him. I'm like, hey, like, I'm free. Do you want to go get dinner? All this kind of stuff. And he replies back and is like, sorry, I can't. I'm going to a party in an hour and a half, so you can come over until I leave to go to the party. And I was like, seriously? This is my one chance to see you this weekend, and the next time I'll come home is for Thanksgiving, and you're gonna tell me you would rather go to a party than to see me for 2 hours. I was livid. And I didn't reply back to him after he replied, well, I want to go to this party. Didn't reply back. I was like, you know what? He does not deserve it. I wake up the next morning, pack my things, and I head off to the airport. I'm sitting on the plane, and I remember that DM that I got about him saying that, oh, he's dating other women. I looked at my Tinder, and I had seen that he had updated all his pictures, changed his bio, as if he was trying, like, he was active on Tinder trying to find girls. And I was like, are you kidding me? The second I get back to my apartment after I fly to Arizona, I get on Facebook and I start looking up this girl that of the full name that random person DM'd me. I had an old friend helping me he found this girl on Facebook. Sure enough, she's from the same city, and we went to the same high school. I messaged her right then and there, and I said, hey, sorry if this is a little weird, but I got a tip that you were seeing this guy named so-and-so, and I'm currently seeing him / dating him right now, and I just wanted to clear things up and see if this is true, if you're dating him, or if this is made up. And this girl replies back to me, and she said, oh my god, like, I'm dating him too right now. I sunk back in my chair, and I'm like, this is not happening. I said, hey, if you want to talk about this, give me a call. And I gave her my number, and sure enough, she called me. And so we were talking on the phone for 30 minutes about everything. This was the day before my birthday, and when I got off the phone with her, it was like 10 minutes before midnight of my birthday. And I remember, like, I sat in my bed and just was thinking about everything. And, you know, I started getting text messages from people saying, like, happy birthday, Andrea, like, I hope you have an amazing day. I'm like, this day could not have come at a worse time. Because now this day, my 21st birthday, is going to suck because I just found out 2 hours before that I have been getting cheated on. And he was stalking me the entire time. Like, for someone who says he never wants anything to do with me, he was looking at every single Instagram post and story that I did that day. And he didn't follow me on Instagram, so he was actually typing in my Instagram account, going to my account, and looking at my posts and my stories. Life goes on, and he had texted me a few times here and there, which I just pretty much ignored. He was leaving to go back to his country during Thanksgiving. Like, I think he left like a day after Thanksgiving. I was certain that I was never gonna see this guy ever again in my life. Like, he lives 6,000 miles away from me until that day in December. My family had this plan for a while that we were going to do a cruise in the Caribbean for New Year's. So we left out of Miami in Florida, and we took a 5-day cruise for New Year's, and we came back into Miami. It's day 2 of our trip. And just for reference, Jefferson blocked me on Snapchat week 1 of us meeting, but apparently he was still friends with my sister on Snapchat. So day 2, my sister comes up to me and is like, why is the guy in Miami? And I was like, you're joking. And so I DM'd him right away, and I said, why are you in Miami? And he said, I'm with my team. And I said, your team from South America? Yeah, right. And he comes back and he says, I'm here in Miami with my soccer team for preseason. And I was shocked. I was like, why are you asking so many questions? Because I was like, because I'm in Miami. And this could have not been the most inopportune timing. And so I was like, I really don't want to, but also at the same time, I felt like I didn't get any closure from what had happened to us. And all I was thinking about all the time was about him. And I just felt like I really needed to see him to say, we're done. And to maybe even hear like why he did that to me, to have my closure. So I walk in the hotel. I'm like sweating. I'm so nervous. And I know what team he's on, and I'm seeing all his teammates everywhere and like their shirts. And I'm like, oh my God, like this is happening. And so right when I come up to his room, he walks outside and he gives me a hug. And he looked really happy to see me. And I'm like, I'm not really happy to see you. And he was saying how much he wanted me to be his girlfriend, and he wanted to be my boyfriend, and he wanted to make things work even though we were 6,000 miles away. And I kept telling him, you know, it's not gonna work out, like I can't trust you. Basically didn't even solve any issues, and he never told me why. I kept asking him, like, why did you do what you do? Like, why did you hurt me like that? And he never really gave me a straight answer. I left with very minimal closure, and his persistence for wanting to be boyfriend-girlfriend. So then fast forward to the end of January. It was a Saturday morning and he FaceTimed me, which he had never done before. So I answered the phone, I'm like, hello? And he literally introduced me to his entire family. I met his mom, I met his brother, I met his sister, I met his nephew. I don't think his father's in the picture. I think his dad left him when he was a kid. I met the majority of the family, and so I felt like, you know, we were actually going somewhere, and I think he introduced me to his mom as, this is my novia, which is girlfriend. And so I was like, hi. And the mom was like, come to, you know, their country. And I'm like, muy caro, muy expensive. This past October, he reached out to me actually. He was saying how much he misses me. And I was like, I don't. And we basically got in a huge fight, you know, over our text messages. And he was like, why are you being so mean to me? And I'm like, dude, you literally have no room to talk. That was when he kind of gave me an answer for why he did what he did. He said he was falling in love with me. He knew he was leaving to go back to his country in a couple months. And I feel like he was trying to say he couldn't bear with the idea of like doing that to me and like making me fall in love with him and then losing him. And like, and I think maybe why he was cheating on me with people was because he fell in love with me. Because he did say, love you, baby girl, after 2 weeks. And he tried crushing down his feelings by just playing around with other women. So I felt like that was the reason, but also like that's not a good reason for why you cheat on someone, because you never should cheat on someone. So after that, he still tries to contact me and I don't listen to him. I just move on with my life, and I don't block him on Instagram because he needs to see what he's missing. He needs to see what he cheated on and let go.
Hey guys, so I am editing the video right now. I'm very comfy in my bed, but I forgot to add the moral of the story is 1, date somebody who speaks your same language. 2, date a citizen of your country to avoid the whole paper situation. And 3, just date a nice guy. He was not nice. And 4, if he cheats, move on with your life, ladies. There's so many better people out there. Do I know that for sure? I don't know. I've been single since, but we're hoping and praying every day.
Alright, so now that the story is finished, our look is finished. So here is the completed look. I did a soft pink glam, something really just simple and easy for the summertime. I'll probably just take this off right now because I don't feel like wearing makeup. But I just wanted to film something fun and summery, and I think pink eyeshadow is so underrated. I think people think they're gonna get a pink eye, and you're not. You're gonna look fabulous. So I hope you guys like today's Get Ready With Me / Storytime video. If you guys want more of these kind of more funnier versions of videos, please let me know. If you guys like this, please give it a big thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel if you want to see more of my content. And thanks so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye guys!